Vaping has sparked a global debate, and Northern Ireland is no exception. As its popularity grows, particularly among young people, significant health and environmental problems have come to the forefront. There are grave concerns around vaping and a cry for desperate measures.
I was about 14 or 15, started vaping. Was one of my friends gave me one, and then started smoking it with no nicotine, and then started smoking it with nicotine, and then started smoking it with more and more nicotine. And then it got to the point where I was on 20 mg Nic salts before they really became a thing. Over here, at least in Northern Ireland. I started off a vape. It was like big mods, and you'd get a lot of smoke out of them, but not a lot of flavour or anything else, and that's like the main reason I did it, because I wanted to make a big cloud. And I was kind of silly and stupid, but I mean, I was a kid, so it was fun.
In the late 2023, the health charity organisation Northern Ireland Chest, Heart and Stroke launched its anti-vaping campaign, especially aimed at young people. For the campaign, satirical posters featuring colourful vapes that are popular amongst youngsters were created to put the message across. Young people like Liam often see vaping as cool and fun. However, Neil Johnston from Northern Ireland Chest, Heart and Stroke argues that it's the marketing tactics that changes young people's perception towards this.
The tobacco say has definitely become uncool, and vaping is cool, and a lot of the marketing we would believe has been aimed at children in terms of the colours and the flavours used, and therefore professional marketeers are very professional and very skillful, and they have managed to make this product something that people want to do, including young people.
We have done some work in schools where kids are telling us that actually their parents are buying it because their parents want them to vape rather than smoke. If they have to pick one, then surely vaping's better. But I think that makes it quite easy for kids to kind of be involved in that vaping culture. There's been a lot of social media coverage of it. It is seen, as being something that's kind of cool. And I think the different flavourings, certainly a lot of the flavourings are definitely marketed at a younger age group.
The BBC report on the case of a 12-year-old girl, Sarah Griffin, mentioned that she used to buy vapes over the counter. Her lungs collapsed and she was kept in a state of induced coma. In 2023, Sarah's asthma was triggered as she became a heavy vape user and was consuming vapes with high levels of nicotine.
With the vaping and stuff, Sarah's lungs has now been left. There's permanent damage, or they'll never be working 100%.
We were just really surprised that there was so much of an effect with the vapes, and of course there are so many different varieties and flavours of vapes. What we did in the research was look at the effect of vape, e-cigarette vapour on bacteria, and we're really interested in bacteria because our work focuses on chronic respiratory infections. So we exposed the bacteria to both vape and to cigarette smoke, and in some cases what we saw was with e-cigarette vapour, the effect on the bacteria was similar, and in some cases greater than with the vape compared to the cigarette smoke extract. What we found was that the bacteria, when they were exposed to e-cigarette vape and to cigarette smoke, became more virulent, and virulence means that they're more likely to cause harm. So they were more stimulatory to the immune system, and they tend to be kind of angrier, and of course we feel that might have implications when we're talking about chronic respiratory infections. We need to be very careful about how much nicotine is getting into vapes. There's a huge amount of nicotine in vapes, and it's not well regulated.
I smoked them a lot for a good bit. I just smoke it way too much, to be honest. Used to be able to go through one of the disposable ones like every day or 2 a day sometimes. I still smoke them. I don't know why I'm talking like it's stopped. It hasn't fully, but yeah, it's got a lot of nicotine. But yeah, it has definitely gone up and down. I smoked a lot when I was younger. I smoke a bit less now, but I smoke fags as well.
Earlier this year, the government of Northern Ireland announced its plans to ban single-use vapes from April 2025. This move comes in as a measure preceding the UK-wide consultation for Tobacco and Vapes Bill. Creating smoke-free generation and tackling youth vaping is the essence of the bill. Even though there was ambiguity around its progression post the general election and change in the government, the bill is back in the parliament.
This is a big multi-million pound industry. They will do everything in their power to adapt, as they would see it, their product to keep it legal. So therefore, they will change the devices.
The legal amount of nicotine in vapes is 20 milligrams with 2 milliliters of liquid in the UK, but illegal vapes with high levels of nicotine have been seized at the UK borders. The problem of proper disposal of single-use vapes continues. In his statement, Environment Minister Andrew Muir said that around 5 million single-use vapes are thrown away in residual bins every week across UK and are not recycled. Single-use vapes generate plastic, nicotine salts, metals and lithium-ion battery wastes, which are harmful to the environment.
Most bins have mostly recycling in them. Most of that rubbish can be recycled. Most things shouldn't be in them bins. There's plenty of vapes.
I'm not gonna lie, I've thrown away a good few vapes in just the normal bin. I think I might have put a couple in the recycling bin by accident, but like the majority of them I just keep, like most of them, but there is the occasional one when I'm out and I just can't be bothered carrying it about. I'll throw it into a bin. There was a company that took them back and they would give you money for it. So I was planning on collecting as many as I could and just giving them all in to make a quick couple of pound. And turned out that they stopped doing it because it was just not worth the money, apparently. So that it was costing them more to scrap or recycle them than to just scrap them. So they just ended up scrapping them. I've just not had the heart to throw them out. There's that many there that I think if I throw them all out, it's going to make me realise, like this has, how many there actually is.
A legislation is being developed by the Northern Ireland government to tackle the issues around vaping.
As this will be a new version of the bill, I will be required to obtain the agreement of the Northern Ireland Executive to bring forward a new legislative consent motion to the Northern Ireland Assembly.
Addiction is not the only problem with the vapes. A new problem has emerged. Litter bins across Northern Ireland are now full of vape stickers. It's necessary to peel off the sticker before using the newly bought vape. Although the government is working on the bill to put the measures in place, the experts believe that the ban will be difficult to regulate and the bill might not have far-reaching implications.
With vapes, anybody can be selling them. So, taxi offices, hairdressers, anybody can sell vapes. So the enforcement officers literally, it's a free-for-all. They don't know where to start. And there's no doubt that certain shops are basically selling vapes regardless of age and quite happy to take, even if they do get caught, quite happy to take the hit. The Westminster bill, the tobacco and vaping bill, the consultation was led from Westminster, and they don't have tobacco registration in England. We do have tobacco registration in Northern Ireland, we have tobacco registration in Wales, and we have tobacco and vaping registration in Scotland. So the London-led consultation didn't include the concept of registration because it's sort of alien to London audiences, and I think that was a mistake. And I say we very much think that we need registration in addition to these measures. The political parties in Northern Ireland, I hope to just continue to speak to them over the following months and persuade them that that the tobacco and vaping bill is something that they should support, and in fact that registration is needed not as an alternative but as an addition.
Don't get me started on it. I think it's probably one of the stupidest plans ever. It's just going to create a whole nother black market of illegal substances for people to buy. Imagine going to the shop and you're 45 and you go in for a packet of smokes and you come out because you haven't been served because you're not 46. It's a complete joke. I understand that there's wanting your kids to have a better life in the future, but there's also the need for them to make their own decisions, because you can't make all their decisions for them, and whether they smoke or not, that's the choice up to them. I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to give it to them, but I'm not going to stop them either.